Welcome back. We want to share the miracle of one very special woman who fled Vietnam to escape certain death. Given a second chance at life here, she soon thrived and overcame her challenges to find success in many ways. Dr. Emily Letran leads by shining example, not only by becoming a well-respected dentist who gives back to her community, but with her personal coaching programs that has helped many people find balance and success in their lives.
So I came to the United States in 1981 as a refugee. I was only 13 years old. I was actually born back in the late 60s in Vietnam, right during the Vietnam War. So growing up, I got my mom, my dad, my older brother, 2 younger siblings, and we live in an extended family with my aunts and my cousins. In 1975, the war ended, the United States left, and the communists took over the country. And that just started a series of very dark days where we didn't have enough of anything. We had to stand in line to buy whatever the government wanted to sell to us. So as a kid, I used to stand in one of those lines to buy food for the family. And then in 1981, Vietnam was going to go to war with China in the north and Cambodia in the west. And a lot of people were leaving the country because they were drafting all the young men to go to war. Now, I'm a girl, I wasn't going to be drafted. My aunt was going to escape the country and taking my older brother, some guy cousins, to avoid a draft. And my dad told me, "You're the youngest girl in the family. You need to go help your aunt." And so I left the country. We escaped on a boat. I left with my aunt, my older brother, and a couple of cousins. I left my dad back there when I was 13 years old, and I never saw him again. I think the most difficult thing for me to overcome living in this country, first coming here as a refugee and being female, being Asian, being 4'11", is a stereotype. When people seeing you with a small stature, they don't think you have the power within you. When they see you looking different, they judge you. They don't think that you can speak the language. They don't think you can actually understand. They don't think that you have enough ambition. And I think that's a challenge that sometimes I still have to overcome nowadays. When I first came and not knowing the language, of course, you really felt that stereotype, but you knew that you didn't know the language also. But as you go on and you pay your dues, you go to school, you learn English, you get trained, you still get that stereotype. I chose dentistry really out of process of elimination because that was actually a field that I didn't know much about. And I know it has a science, it has the art. And what I appreciate over the years is really being able to build a relationship with my patients. It's always been my goal to create social impact. I think as professionals, we are very, very blessed, very lucky to be able to run our own business, be able to achieve a good lifestyle with our family. But what more can you do? Right? It can't just be about a career, it can't just be about a title. So with social impact, giving back to the community, which is what I do in my dental offices, coaching is what will help people get better, help them step into their power, help them become the better version of themselves. And that's what drove me toward coaching. And public speaking or running seminars and events is the way that I would spread my message. I think one of the first things that we Asian women need to think about is our identity. To have a very clear idea of who we are. We're not just moms, we're not just wives, right? We could be business owners, we could be entrepreneurs, we could be involved in political leaders. We could be running companies as CEOs. A lot of time I think for us, we tend to always put the family first, always wait until it's our turn to do certain things for ourselves. And when you have that clarity, and you know that it's very important to be yourself, to have your own goals, to reach your own goals, to know what you want and go after what you want, I think that's when we will feel more comfortable stepping out of our shell. When I wrote my first book, it's called From Refugee to Renaissance Woman. It was to share my life story, how I came from Vietnam and going through challenges and being able to accomplish what I have accomplished so far. That was meant to be an inspiration. That was meant to share a personal story. And I know that when the right person reading those messages, it will help them find the inspiration, find the courage to do more, because basically that was my story. It wasn't a chosen path, but it became the path where I got to my achievement. So that was the first book. When I wrote the second one, it's called Commit to Embracing Your Big Life. And that was sharing a little bit more of my story, but it was more business strategies on how you can maximize your potential, how you can streamline your business and grow your business to make a difference. I always wanted to give back to the community, so I do things for the community. I could be buying Girl Scout cookies, and then sponsoring a kid to go to an event, like maybe to a band event where they have to go out of town, and maybe the parents couldn't really afford to help them do that. But a couple years ago, I had the privilege of going to CEO Space, which is an international business organization, and there I learned to create my own foundation. And it's what I have dedicated the foundation to do is to have veterans and families of disadvantaged background get basic dental care. Ultimately, I think I want to have a mobile clinic where I can take the dentistry further than where I live, where my office is. And the reason I chose to serve veterans is because I think I'm here because of the veterans. I'm here because of the war. And that's one way to directly give back to the people who have affected my life. I am Emily Letran, and this is my voice.